Cold rain tapped softly against the old windows of the small house as Anna stood in the narrow hallway, her hands trembling over the small curve of her pregnant belly. The air inside the house felt heavy, thick with anger that had been building for weeks. In front of her, her stepmother's cold eyes burned with impatience. "I told you already." The woman snapped sharply, her voice cutting through the silence like a knife. "You are not staying here anymore." Anna swallowed hard. Her throat felt dry, and her heart pounded painfully in her chest. "Please, I have nowhere to go," she whispered. "At least let me stay until the baby is born." But the stepmother laughed bitterly, a sound that held no kindness. "That child is not my problem," she said, crossing her arms. "You made your mistakes. Now you deal with them." Anna felt tears filling her eyes, but she forced herself not to cry. She had cried enough these past months. After the man she loved disappeared the moment he learned about the baby, after the whispers in town, after realizing that the only home she had left was no longer hers. "I'll work," Anna said quietly. "I'll do anything. Just don't send me away tonight." The stepmother walked toward the door and pulled it open. Cold wind rushed inside, carrying the smell of rain and wet earth. "Out," she said firmly. For a moment, Anna stood frozen. Then she slowly picked up the small worn bag lying near the wall. Inside it were only a few clothes and an old photograph of her mother, the only person who had ever truly loved her. Anna stepped outside. The door slammed shut behind her. The sound echoed in the quiet street, final and cruel. Rain soaked her hair and clothes within seconds. She wrapped her thin coat tighter around herself and began to walk, though she had no idea where she was going. The town looked different at night, darker, colder, almost unfamiliar. Lights glowed in windows where families sat together, warm and safe. Anna avoided looking at them. Her hand rested protectively over her stomach. "It's okay," she whispered softly to the baby. "We'll figure something out." But deep inside, fear twisted painfully in her chest. Hours passed as she walked along the empty road that led away from town. Her legs grew tired, and the rain showed no sign of stopping. Finally, she reached a dirt path she had never noticed before. Tall trees lined the road, their branches swaying in the wind. Anna hesitated, but with nowhere else to go, she followed it. After several minutes, the trees opened into a wide clearing, and Anna stopped in surprise that in front of her stood a massive old estate. The building was enormous, its stone walls dark with age. Ivy crawled across the tall windows, and the iron gate in front of the property hung slightly open. It looked abandoned. Anna stepped closer slowly, curiosity pushing aside some of her fear. The gate creaked loudly as she pushed it open. Grass had grown wild across the courtyard, and fallen leaves covered the cracked stone path leading to the entrance. "No one's been here in years," she murmured. A sudden pain shot through her lower back, making her gasp. She held her belly tightly and took a slow breath. She needed shelter, even if it was only for one night. With careful steps, Anna climbed the worn stairs and reached the large wooden door. She pushed gently. To her surprise, it opened. Inside, the estate was quiet and dusty, but still beautiful. A grand staircase curved upward toward the second floor, and faded paintings hung on the walls. Moonlight streamed through broken curtains, lighting the enormous room with a soft silver glow. Anna walked slowly across the floor, her footsteps echoing softly. "Hello," she called quietly, and no answer. She found an old couch near the fireplace and sank down onto it, exhausted. For the first time that night, she felt slightly safe. The baby moved gently inside her. Anna smiled weakly and placed her hand over her stomach. "Looks like we found a place to rest," she whispered. Just then, something caught her eye. On a small table nearby lay an old envelope covered in dust. Anna reached for it. Her name was written on it. Anna froze, Her heart began beating faster as she stared at the letters. How? With shaking hands, she opened the envelope. Inside was a folded document and a small key. She unfolded the paper slowly as her eyes scanned the words. Her breath caught. The estate belonged to her, left to her by someone she had never even met. Anna sat there in stunned silence as the rain continued to fall outside. Just hours ago, she had been thrown out of her home with nothing. Now she was sitting inside a forgotten mansion that somehow was hers. Tears filled her eyes again. But this time, they were different. For the first time in months, a small spark of hope flickered inside her heart. Maybe being thrown out hadn't been the end of her life. Maybe it was the beginning of something she never expected. And in that quiet, forgotten estate, as the storm slowly faded into the night, everything truly began to change.